I know a lot of us have been MFing this league and doing the Abyss strat that you're seeing all those loot explosions on, and a lot of people have come in chat and said, how do you keep the Spire alive? And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some tips on getting the most out of your Abysses, because it is a bit finicky, especially on builds with big AoE, but there are some things that you can do. So for those of you who do not know, and you can skip ahead to the tips by checking the chapters below. Abyss Spires are these unique enemies that spawn at the end of Abysses, quite rarely on the 4th hole of the Abyss. However, if you're using Gilded Abyss Scarabs or Winged Abyss Scarabs, you always get the Spire at the end. However, it can sometimes lead to an Abyssal Depths, but this is very rare. So if you're doing this strategy, don't use Polished. I made this mistake and I wasn't getting Spires. Use Gilded or Winged. This Spire, it shoots out a whole lot of projectiles, and these cause little holes to come out of the ground and a lot of monsters come out of them. However, if you kill the Spire before these monsters have spawned, you're missing out on pretty much the full effect of the Abyss. So what can we do? So I recorded a few maps where I did a few Abysses, and I just want to talk you through the kind of thought process when I'm doing it. So here's one. We can slow it down. I'm going to approach the Abyss. So first thing you need to know is the Abyss Spire, or the Stygian Spire, it's not going to spawn on the first round. So here, I'm just standing here, killing it, and we're waiting for it to move. I've made the map a bit bigger so you can see, okay, it's moving. Now, it has the potential to spawn the Spire at the end of this one. So I'm moving back a little bit just in case it spawns the Spire. Staying back a little bit. But you do want to kill all the monsters. If you're too slow, it's not going to go to the next hole. Alright. We're seeing, is it going to spawn the... No. Okay, so first thing. It spawned it on the second hole. And the first thing you must pay attention to is the moment that Spire spawns, the little mini-map icon is going to disappear. So that's what I'm looking out for when I'm doing these. I'm saying, okay, we're killing it, we're killing it. Let's just see if we can go back. Here's the little icon, this little thingy over here. We push play, and there. The moment this spawns, that icon disappears. And that's when you need to go, all right, I need to move backwards right now. So here I move back and I'm waiting. Here, these little things, these are the projectiles it spawns that spawn out the monsters. So I go, okay, those guys are over there. I'm going to stay back a bit and wait for these monsters to come out of the holes. They usually approach you, but I'm deliberately staying back, kind of trying to pull the monsters away. And the reason is because of this kind of ignite proliferation. I get one explosion, it spreads throughout the whole pack, and that can ignite the Spire itself and just completely kill it, and then you don't get all the monsters. Because I believe at 75 and 50% HP, I'm not exactly sure what the thresholds are, but at those life thresholds on the Spire, it's going to shoot out even more projectiles. So you want to try and lower the Spire's life without completely killing it. So here's the first pack. And I go, whoa, okay, that's a big explosion. And now I'm kind of just standing in it because, well, I think I killed it by mistake. But it had spawned pretty much all of the holes. So I figured, all right, all the monsters are out. Let's just kill it. We can look at another one quickly. So here I'm following another one. Got the mini-map nice and big so you can see. Just staying back a little bit, but still making sure to kill all those monsters that pop out. Okay, there we go. Do you see the icon disappeared? I run backwards. I move backwards and I'm waiting for those new icons to appear on the mini-map. Okay. And now we try to drag the monsters out a bit. We don't want our proliferation to kill it. And this is probably going to be relevant for a lot of builds. I don't know about projectile-based builds, but at least for Fulcrum, which is very popular, maybe even BV Poison with Poison Prolif, you want to step back. And here I remember, I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but stuff wasn't dying, but it's okay. Doesn't matter, we have time. There we go. There's the second 2 packs. I think it only shoots out another 2, but I'm now standing over here because I'm thinking, okay, these holes have spawned. Now I just need to wait for the monsters to crawl out, because if I kill the spire before those monsters have crawled out, we're not going to get the monsters. So now I'm staying back. I'm like, okay, all right, let's just see. Do they come out of the hole? Are they out of the hole? All right, I think they are out of the hole. And there you see we got a bit too close to the spire and deleted it. And there is all our delicious loot. Now, while this plays out, and I realize the sound for the game wasn't on, but something very important to note, if you are doing this in tier 16 maps, you want to do all your abysses at the end. You don't want to be doing your abysses as you encounter them, but rather at the end of the map, because of the altars. You can get a ton of increased item quantity and rarity. Over here you can see I've got 328 increased item quantity, 289 rarity, and I think at the start of the map you can see there's 300, 243, 220. So we've not quite doubled but massively increased our item quantity and rarity. So don't do your abysses right as you encounter them. Clear the map, get as many altars as you can, and then go back and clear all of them. This is part of the reason why some corners of the MF community find this extremely cringe, but I have found that Abyss is just too good to drop, at least on Fulcrum. But now, with all of that out of the way, let's just go over some tricks that you can use to get the Spire's HP a little bit higher so that you're not one-shotting it. But full disclaimer, sometimes you are going to just obliterate it. You're going to get a big ignite or explosion that's just going to instantly delete it. And yeah, that's tough. That often happens when you don't get very many wisps. But let's have a look at the passive tree quickly. There is this node over here. Someone in chat pointed this out. Wellspring of Creation. Monsters in your maps deal 25% less damage, but have 50% more life. So if you want to try and not nuke it down as fast, you can try this. However, it means that everything else is going to take quite a bit longer to kill, especially some of those tanky rares on this Chieftain Ignite, which can already be a bit of a problem, but it's not too bad usually. I did test this, it did feel good, but I felt that with just good positioning, I was able to manipulate the Spire to a perfectly fine standard that I didn't need this. Another thing you can do is apply Delirium to your map. So this can be with a Deli Mirror Sextant or just with chance to get Deli on your maps. But Deli is a great way to increase the life of the Spire, because each 20% layer of Delirium is going to be increasing the life of the Spire by 16%. So we're gonna, at 20% Deli, it's 16% up to 32, 48, 64, 80. So if you're running 100% Delirious maps or you're very far from the mirror, you're going to be getting 80% increased life on that Spire, which will make it harder to kill. Now, another thing is just Wisps is gonna make those things tankier. However, because of the projectiles that these things shoot out, you want to prioritize your purple, because purple wisps mean more projectiles, which means more monsters come out of those Stygian spires. So my order of priority is generally going to be purple, then blue, then yellow, but obviously try and get the best blend of the three. Another thing that can be nice is this map modifier. Monsters gain 40% of max life as extra max energy shield. This does give you a bit of a buffer on your Spire, which can be nice. However, again, if you do get a big ignite and you don't have wisps and you don't have Deli, you're just going to delete it. But don't go out of your way to roll this mod, but it is nice if you get it. So combined, we have Deli Orbs, we have Wisps, Wellspring of Creation over here, and extra ES. Now, another thing you can do, which I've seen quite a few people suggest, is using Cold Iron Point, at least on this Fulcrum build or any other elemental based builds. This means that you deal no elemental damage. However, if you already have ignites spreading out through the packs, or you yourself are ignited because we're using the Fulcrum, this is not particularly helpful. Things are still gonna die, ignites are still gonna spread. What you can do, and I did test it, is to equip Cold Iron Point and Invictus Solaris. This doesn't remove Ignite if you are already ignited, but what it does mean is that once the Spire spawns, you can run back and completely remove the Ignite, or at least wait out the Ignite, and then re-engage and try and drag those monsters away while you are not ignited so they don't explode and spread it. I just feel this is finicky. Other people have suggested using Southbound Gloves. Your hit can only kill frozen enemies. This is useful in groups where maybe you have an MF color and you can nuke it down to almost 0 life and then wait for it to spawn and then your color kills it. However, at least on Fulcrum, this does not work. It does not apply to damage over time. It's just going to burn straight through it. So all of these little finicky tricks that I think some people have been doing don't really feel good to me. It just feels like kind of annoying. But if anyone in the comments has a suggestion that does actually feel good, please do let me know. This is how I've been getting the most out of my Spires for the most part. A lot of times I've had some absolutely ridiculously big swings and bombs, as you've seen on Twitter. I got one of those from an Abyss Spire, and this is how I've been keeping it alive. So hopefully it helps. If it did, let me know. Let me know which strat you've been doing. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay safe. Catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Divine power! Divine power! It's branching, Exile. You're making me nervous.